If you're in the market for a luxury condominium in the Phoenix and Scottsdale area, well, that is our topic of conversation today. So join me as we tour or talk about the Luxe in North Phoenix. I'm Michelle Miller with Michelle Miller AZ, and today we're talking about the luxury development by the Statesman, it's the builder, in North Phoenix called the Luxe. And they have been building these for the last 3 years. I have been watching these go up. It's just funny all the pricing you see when they started advertising them like 3 or 4 years ago, starting in the high 600s, then they change it to high 700s, and then on and on. The demand for these has been crazy, and they are selling like hotcakes. So, all right, let's just kind of talk about the Luxe as a whole. It's gonna be a little bit longer because it's a lot to unpack with this development. All right, so the Luxe, first of all, where is it located? So it's just north of the 101 at 56 and Deer Valley, roughly. It is right near Desert Ridge Mall and High Street, which is basically across the street. These are 4-story concrete buildings, obviously with some framing construction vertically, but in between the floors, top to bottom, you won't hear your neighbors because they are concrete. Another nice benefit is you get to have gas grills at these because the building is constructed from concrete. Like I said, they've been building these for the past 3 or 4 years. There are 6 buildings in total. Buildings 1 and 6 are done completely. There's building 4 and 5 right now that they have some move-in ready. I'll talk about the prices in a little bit. And then they're building 2 right now. It's kind of weird they didn't number them in the order in which they're finishing them. And then land for 1 more. So 6 buildings in total. So we talked about the location. So the location though is really nice. Like you have all the amenities of Desert Ridge that's just a block or 2 away. You could ride your bike over there. You could drive over there. Right across the street is High Street with several restaurants. That is continuing to fill up. They have a cute little farmer's market from October to May. So you can go over there on Sundays. They have music, just a lot of nice booths and vendors, and it's just a lot of fun. And then they have a lot of events too. They used to have the Jazz Festival. I don't think that's happening anymore, but they do have other events in the area as well. Let's talk about the amenities at the Luxe. There are a lot of them. This is a really beautiful building, and they offer their homeowners, condo owners, quite a lot. So every unit has 10-foot ceilings. They come with 2 parking spaces and a storage. Now the parking is in the basement, so this lives like a hotel almost. You take the elevator up and then you have the hallway, and then there's several properties on each floor. You can also get a gate that goes down to enclose your car. Let's say if you're a part-timer and you want to make sure your car is secure, you can do that. And then there's also, you can get a charging station if you have an electric vehicle, so that's nice. Also on the first floor, they have just this beautiful community room. It's got a community kitchen. There's workspaces, so if you work from home but you don't really want to be in your house because you're tired of your 4 walls, you can go downstairs and there's some working areas. There's like a community living room. It smells incredible. They have some mechanism in there that makes that lobby just smell so fantastic. They have a big fitness center in this building with a yoga room with classes. They have an infrared sauna. That's the first I've seen having an infrared sauna. Oh, and steam rooms, his and her steam room. So really, really nice. The other thing to note is next door, the Statesman also built Toscana several years ago. And so if you live in the Luxe, you can use all the amenities over at Toscana. Now the people at Toscana cannot use the ones at the Luxe, but Luxe, more expensive, can use the others. So at Toscana, there's 2 more workout rooms. There's several more pools. They have a community room. So you have the benefit of using both. Oh, also, I wanted to say that there's like a little movie room too at the first floor of the Luxe too. They said you can rent it out, or not rent it, but use it if you want to do like a private showing or set up a movie. They have a big community kitchen, but I was asking about that if residents can, have it for a big party, and they said they don't really like to have big parties of 50 people. They would maybe like a small gathering with other residents, not to rent out and bring a bunch of people in. So it's kind of a bummer because it's a really nice space that if you wanted to have a big birthday party or something for your significant, it would be a really nice space, but they kind of frown upon that. Okay, let's talk about the units. So they range in size. The smallest one is 1,673 square feet. I looked at the resales. There's 3 on the market that are running in the smaller range, and they're running at about 1.1 to 1.3, and they're all, I think, in the 1,700 range. So the 1,600 square foot is just a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. So then once you jump up into the 1,700, then they run up to 1,700 to 2,300 square feet, and those will be a various combination of 2 bedrooms plus a flex room, 2-bath, up to 3 bedrooms, 3-bath. So it just depends. They're all named after like funky designers like Dior, Armani. Then there's, well, the Adele, she's not a designer, but the names are kind of fun. So they have 10-foot ceilings, they have big walls of windows, they have good sized patios on all of them, and nice open concept living. So it's what people are wanting today, and it's a very contemporary design. They have quartz countertops, and they have really nice appliance packages on top of that as well. Let's talk about the pros, I think, of these. So again, it's a concrete building, and the noise factor is less, and also the way they framed it, they left what they call the party wall, which falls between, you know, side to side. They have a 2-inch air gap, which also gives you an hour fire rating. If one guy's house started on fire, it takes an hour before it would penetrate the next wall. So that's good for safety purposes and probably insurability. And it makes it a little bit quieter. So they have this whole sheet they give you about how the building is constructed. It's really comprehensive. They have smart technology, so it's like smart doorbells. They have sensors on some of the walls. They have like a water bug sort of sensor. If you have water issues, you can then obviously buzz people in through the gate, etc. It's single level living, so it's an elevator that you come up from the garage or the lobby and onto your floor, so that's nice. The gas grills are generally optional, but in buildings 4 and 5, what they're building now, they included them on all the units. So that's a nice little upgrade. On building 2 that is under construction, that is slated to be done in summer of 2026, that will be an option, not a given. The HOA fee, which includes everything but your electricity. So they stream in high-speed internet. They have your gas, your water, your sewer, maintenance around the area. They have a full-time concierge, and then they have an on-site community manager 24 hours a day. So if you have any issues, it's, you know, that's really nice to have your HOA people on site and present. It's way easier to get a hold of them when you have issues. And like I said, 2 nice parking spaces in the basement for each unit, plus the storage locker, which is nice. A lot of places you have to add that or pay for that extra. All right, what are the cons to this development? Okay, first of all, it's a really nice building, don't get me wrong, but there's no perfect place to live. I say that in every neighborhood video we talk about, or every building. First of all, the price. I mean, it is pricey. So like I said, the resales that are on the market now are running between 1.1 and 1.3, and they're not giant units. We're talking about 16 or 1700 square feet. The noise. So the first building they built was right on Deer Valley, and some of the other buildings are pretty close to Deer Valley. It's a pretty busy road, and you're going to get road noise. So if you're from the city and you're used to that, that's no big deal. But if you lived out in the country, that will drive you crazy. So that is an issue. And some of those units that were facing south like that, they used to have a really nice view of the McDowell's. Well, now High Street and the area around it is building up, and people are starting to lose their views. Lack of privacy, I feel, is also an issue because all the buildings are sort of built in a circle. The Optima around town is very similar. You really do lack a lot of privacy. You can see, you know, you're out on your balcony, you can see the guy across from you or the guy next to you. So not everybody likes it. Privacy tends to be a pretty big thing with a lot of people. It's not man-gated. It has a fake gate, as I call them. So, you know, you have to be buzzed in, or their gates don't seem to close really fast. So you could probably tailgate somebody in if somebody came in ahead of you. And you don't have direct entry. So like I did a video on Belamonte, and in that, those garages you access in most of the units, you can walk right into your property. In this development, you're parking in the garage, and then you come up to your, so it lives more like a hotel. So some people don't care, some people don't like it. And that's, you know, more like high-rise kind of living because it's not a huge high-rise, but it's 4 stories. Those are a couple of the things that I guess I would consider a con. Oh, another plus I forgot to say is access to the 101. It's only like a mile to jump on the 101, so you can get around town really easily. You're only like 20 minutes from Sky Harbor. You're very close to getting down to Paradise Valley or Old Town, again, maybe 15, 17 minutes. And then you can jump north. You can go up to Cave Creek. That's about a 12-minute drive, or the Troon area to Gulf. So it's just a really good central location. Schools in this area, this is gonna fall into the Paradise Valley School District. I don't see a lot of children running around this place. It's more like an adult complex, but not to say that there aren't. I do see a school bus pickup on Deer Valley. So there's kids living somewhere, but I think they're in Toscana, not so much at the Luxe. But this would be Desert Trails Elementary, Explorer Middle, and Pinnacle High School. All right, let's talk hot off the presses, by the way. This is the latest scoop for what units are currently available in buildings 4 and 5. So right now, the small one, the Armani, is 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, starting, or they're finished out. In these buildings, they already picked all the finishes, so you can't, these are just quick finish sale. You can move in 30 or 60 days. That's at $1,050,000. Those are going all the way up to the 3-bed, 3-bath floor, which is 2,319 square feet, and that's at $1,450,000. So again, not inexpensive, and then there's stuff all the way in between, $1,001,000, $1,002,000, $1,003,000. So there's something for everybody in there. That's building 5. In building 4, which is directly across from the first building they made, so it's sandwiched between where there's going to be the 2 pools. 1 pool right now, they're supposed to be adding a 2nd pool once all the buildings are done. So just keep that in mind, there's only 1 pool. But it's never busy. I never see hardly anybody at that pool. Building 4, there are a couple 1,700 square foot units. They're in the 1,230 and 1,280. 1.28 million. And then the Valentino is 2,025 square feet, 2-bed, 2.5 bath at $1,542,000. So again, some move-in readies for you to consider if this is sounding interesting to you. Okay, building 2, this is the one that they're currently constructing. They're taking orders, or you can lock a unit down and then pick out your finishes, but it's slated to be done by summer of 2026. So again, you can do your finishes and you can add in whatever amenities you want. Now the smallest one, the 1,600 unit, is gonna start at $945,000. So just like when you buy a lot in the neighborhood, when you buy in a building, there's premiums. How high you are in the building, where you are placement-wise, because some of the units are in multiple places in the building. The Armani, because it's small, is sort of what I call like in a sandwich. So it's stuck between 2 units. So it's kind of either on the end or on the side of the building. It's kind of one of the middle units that they just kind of squeezed in between bigger units. The ones that are around the 1,700 square foot, they're anywhere between $970,000 and $1,037,000. Larger ones, 1,800 square feet, those are starting at $975,000. Again, these are, you gotta add your grill or outdoor kitchen, any updates, any upgrades. So you have to factor in another 20-25%. That's what and any new build, that always happens. Now, in this building, they added 1 unit that's called the D/Luxe, and it's 2 units combined. So it's gonna be almost 3,200 square feet, and then get this, the patio alone is almost 900 square feet. That's a ton of outdoor living space. So one side has like the kitchen and the living area and 1 bedroom, and then the second side is a gigantic primary suite and then a 2nd bedroom. So again, about 3,200 square feet. That one, they are talking, starts at 1.9, yep, 1.9, and then add your upgrades. So if you have questions, if this sounds like something that you think is interesting or you might want more information about, please reach out, and I am always happy to answer your questions. And if you like the video, hey, please consider subscribing and press the notification bell so you're notified the next time I drop a video. So thanks, I'm sorry it was a long one, but I appreciate you sticking with me, and have a great day.